Today I got an older HP 15 laptop. I'm going to show you how to open it up, get inside so we can replace the hard drive with a brand new solid state drive. I'll show you how I do it. Hey guys, how's it going? Dale here. Today I got an older HP 15 laptop. It's got the original 500 gigabyte factory hard drive in it. I'm going to show you how to open up, get inside. I'm going to get that out. I am going to clone it, but I'm going to do it on my cloning station over there. I won't show you that on this video. I have tons of videos though, for different cloning processes. You can go check them out. Basically, I'm going to, after I clone it, I'm going to clone it onto a brand new SATA SSD. I'm going to put the SSD back in here, boot it up, get back into Windows and do a little tuning up for them and make it run a whole lot faster. So, first thing I'm going to do, close the lid, just get rid of the battery here, just pops out. Oop, unlock it. I've got a bunch of screws to take out. There's two screws immediately here. There's this one here, right here, and there's one over here. They have the little keyboard icon. Those two hold the keyboard down because I am going to have to pop that out of there as well. So first thing though, I'm going to use my number 0 Phillips here, and I'm going to get the optical drive out of the way. There's one screw right here for the optical drive, and this thing should slide right out just like that. And then underneath there's two tiny little screws, right? They're kind of hard to see, they're black. There's one here and one here. We have to remove those. Sometimes there's 3, sometimes 2. But I got lots of these I got to get done today, so I'm just going to get the cloning done on my cloning station and not bore you with all that. So we have to take these two little rubber feet off on the bottom here. They use an adhesive, so I'm going to take a little tool like this, something pointy, and just kind of pry them up, just like that. There's a screw underneath each one of these. They just pop right off. I believe all these screws are going to be the same length, so except the CD-ROM drive there. It's a little short one. And these, I believe, come right off just like that. These little covers for the hinge area here. And then underneath there, good, there's no more screws under there. So let's just start taking out the rest of these screws. I'm using my number 0 magnetic tip screwdriver. It seems to work really good. These two screws I took out under these rubber feet, they are longer. They're a little more heftier than the other screws, so keep that in mind. Anyway, I think there was one missing there. I'm just going to go around and pop all these out real quick. Before you get into your computer, make sure you're protected against static electricity. Use a ESD wristband or work on a good anti-static surface. A lot of times I get these older laptops in here and I start taking out screws, and quite a few of them can be missing. Like most of these are like really loose. They just tend to get loose over the years of lots of use. So I think we got them all. There shouldn't be any screws under any of these guys here, so I think we're good there. So now I got to pop the keyboard up. Got to make sure you get those screws out for the keyboard. For that, we got to get in the seam along the bag edge here, usually about right in here. You can get a tool in here to kind of get it started. Oh, there we go. And then the little tabs, I just kind of work it here. Got to get it in the right spot to release that tab. Come on, Dale. You got to be careful. You don't want to booger up the finish. All right, where am I coming? Take your time, Dale. Well, oh geez, I thought there was a screw missing there, but see, That screw was in there. My bad. That's why it wasn't coming up. I'm going kind of quick here. I just got to get this done so I can get on to the next one. I thought it'd be a nice little video if you got an older HP like this. Now it just comes up gently, and we're going to flip it this way. And the ribbon cable here, we have to flip up that little black bar. Just got to kind of flick it up gently with your finger. Slide the cable out. There's probably 3 or 4 screws under here we got to pop out because this palm rest is going to come up. So we got a little screw here. Now these are, make sure you get these back in the right holes. I believe they're all the same, but I like to put them back in the same holes. So just lay them out in a good pattern so you can remember where they go. Still nursing my coffee. And I think we gotta disconnect the touchpad here. Put the little black lever up carefully. You don't want to break those off. That would be not good. We got one over here with tape over it. This is for the power switch here. This little connector here. That's on the motherboard, so we gotta lift that up. Remove the cable. Probably gonna have to blow it out inside. I'm guessing maybe a little crusty in there. So I'm gonna take my little plastic spudger tool, little triangle here. I'll have a link down below where you can buy a pack of these for a few bucks. Just kind of get it in my seam here and work it along. I guess you could use your fingernail if you got a nice stiff long fingernail, but I like to use a little tool here. Works good. Sometimes they're a little stubborn along the back here, so you got to be gentle. Now that I got it started. Oh, this one's actually coming up pretty easy, it looks like. So there, got the palm rest off. Here's our touchpad. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go blow this out before I button it back up. There's a lot of dust in there. But here's the hard drive we got to take out. Looks like there's just 2 mounting screws for the little bracket here. It slides back out of the SATA port here. So let's get those screws out of there. Again, a number 0. The clone won't take too long. They go really fast on our cloning station there. We use a Cronus on our cloning computer. Use it many times every day. Careful and try not to touch anything you don't absolutely have to touch in there. Oh, my drive's cloning. I'm going to get this blow it out in here, make it a little less dusty. So here's the hard drive. This little bracket here just comes off with 2 screws. We'll mount that onto our SATA SSD. This is a 500 gig. I'm going to put in a 500 gig SATA SSD, a Crucial MX500. I got to go snag one here in a second. So yeah, I'm going to get this cloned. I'm going to blow it out, come back and put in the newly cloned SATA SSD, boot it up, go through a little bit of disk checking, get back into Windows and do some finalizing with a tune-up and a cleanup, get all the updates. Should be good, so I'll be back in just a little bit. All right guys, I'm back. Wow, what a pain. Turned out that her original hard drive that I took out, that I'm replacing with the new 500 gig SATA SSD, she's got a ton of bad sectors on this hard drive, so the cloning process was a nightmare to say the least. However, I think I got a good clone. I actually had to do it twice. It's just a special way that I do it when I got a hard drive that's bad. Doing a fresh clean install was kind of not an option, but I did give her that option. But in this case, we're gonna see if we got a good clone. So the first thing I have to do is switch the bracket here off the old hard drive onto the new SATA drive. One of the worst clones I've had to do in a while, actually. Just nothing went right on it. And I'm sure all of our data is going to be all right, so we're just going to switch this over to this one, put it somewhat back together and see if we got a good clone. When I got a hard drive with bad sectors, I had a feeling the hard drive was going to be bad, but I can usually get through it the first time with the way that we do it, but in this case it just kept failing, so it took a long time. I had to move on to some other jobs and get some other stuff done while I was trying to get this thing cloned. So anyway, so we got the bracket switched over, just 2 little mounting screws. We're gonna pop it back in there. Pretty straightforward. Put our 2 mounting screws back in over here. Pretty self-explanatory. I just hate when a clone takes so long. I tied up one of my cloning station bays for a long time. I actually had to let it go overnight. We're into the next day. I don't know if you can tell. But anyway, let's get that bad boy in there. All right, so let's get the old hard drive out of the way. I don't want to see that no more. Let's get the Mr. Palm rest here. I did clean it out, blew all the crud out of the cooling fan there. It was pretty gunked up, but it looks great now, so I did take care of that as well. Once we put this little guy back on, gonna hook up our touchpad cable and our power switch cable over here. I have not tried this yet, but everything says that it was a good clone. And once if it does get back into Windows, I'm gonna of course update it to the new 21H1 Windows 10, because it's not completely up to date. I think it's got 2004 on it or something. So let's hook our power switch back up first. Now, these are pretty simple to go in. Just flip the little lever up. Make sure it's in all the way. Just like that, you gotta push it in. I gotta do the same thing to this one. This palm, or the touchpad one's always kind of a pain. Not always, but ugh, ugh. Come on. These never want to go back in the first time. Nope, I don't think it's in. There's just no slack there to get a hold of. Just gotta sort of take your time. Don't want to break that little clip, that would be bad. Maybe it is in all the way. Doesn't really look like it, but yeah, I guess it is. Matches up with the other one. All right. We got to put a few screws back in underneath here. Using my number 0, Phillips, of course. We're going to have one right here. If you look close, you'll be able to see that it's a different day. Oops. All right, where am I at here, Dale? One way over here in the corner. That is true, in a pile over here. I've done so many of these, you think I'd have them all memorized, but I get it done, I move on to the next one, and I don't know, I forget. All right. Keyboard only goes one way, obviously. Oh, I hate the way these have these bent. So we're going to slide that back in, hopefully. Come on. These are always stubborn. Stubborn. Alright, I think that's it. Just got to make sure it's in even, lined up against the black bar. We're just going to tap that in there like that for now. Well, don't want it falling out. Not going to completely button it back up yet, guys. I just want to make sure we got a good clone. More often than not, on these older ones, especially when you're dealing with a bad hard drive, you got to go to a plan B. So I'm going to put my 2 little tiny screws back in along here where the optical drive goes. the way I cloned it, it shouldn't have to do any disk checking or anything once I turn it on. I mean, it's not going to be a super speedy computer, but it's going to be a lot better than what it was. It was definitely running slow with that bad hard drive in there. All right, where'd that screw go? I'll hold that in place. All right, I'm gonna wait to put the other screws back in for the moment. Slide Mr. Battery in here. All right, we button this part up later. Let's get a cord plugged into it. So, I mean, it'll be a nice upgrade, you know, for a older HP. As you guys know, I do not like hard drives, you know, for a main drive for booting and whatnot. I don't care about that right now. So let's power it on and see what happens. Good airflow coming out of there, that's good. Trying to boot. Well, this is, wow. I don't know, I had a feeling in the back of my head that it wasn't a good clone. So now I can just get into some of the details. I'm going to do all my updating on Windows, kind of do a tune-up on it, just make sure everything's tweaked really nice for her. Now she's got a brand new 500 gig SATA SSD, 2.5-inch SSD. Of course, you can't put an M.2 drive in an old computer like this. So there, we got a good clone. So anyway, guys, let me see here, that touchpad. All right, got the keyboard okay. Yeah, that touchpad didn't take hold, and there's not a rats. Well, oops. Trying to get it shut down here. All right, that's not working either. Well, let's do a hard shutdown. Don't like to do this, but guess I could have hooked my mouse up to it. My touchpad ain't going all the way. See? Doggone it, Dale. Well, I'm gonna keep rolling here while I pop this old guy back out of here. All right, where'd my tool go? Use this one. I didn't snap it in all the way. Get Mr. Keyboard. Yeah, I didn't think that was in all the way. God, it sure looks like it though. It's not wanting to push in all the way. Yeah, I know it's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing down here, but oh, that thing just is not being cooperative. I think the touchpad worked before I started on it. Let me get over here and grab this little guy here. Yeah, these are kind of bent. I bent these special for another thing. Why isn't that going in all the way? It just doesn't want to push in all the way. Sure looks like it's going in all the way. Shouldn't be unhooked on the other side. I don't know, guys, if I can't get that, I'm going to have to take the palm rest back off and make sure it didn't come discombobulated on the other end, right underneath the touchpad. Shouldn't have been. Just was laying over there. Yeah, you just never know what you're getting into. Oh, we got it. There, it's moving now. What is that again? Yeah, I got to do a lot of tuning up and cleaning up. There's a bunch of malware and junkware and stuff like that on it. I saw that when I first turned it on. It took about 7-8 minutes to boot all the way up before you could even really do anything with it. So there, we got a touchpad now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to button everything up and do finalize all my other stuff and have a good little upgrade. I appreciate you guys all watching. Don't forget to give me a like and click on subscribe. That would be awesome. Check out more of my other videos. Y'all have a great day.